Essentially, you're in charge of the output of the radio station. You've got to make sure that everything that is going on air is worth going on air. So obviously, each producer of each show prepares content, and they have to send it to the senior producer, and they have to clear it, listen to it, give feedback, which was always a tough thing. And then when it came around to like the end of each show, you'd have to do debriefing afterwards and say this is what was good, this is what was bad, and basically kind of keep morale as well. Like that was the toughest part, was keeping everyone really positive and happy and on point. But essentially, yeah, you're just kind of helping run the station. It's kind of a different setup to like real life radio stations, because senior producers would focus on essentially on like 1 or 2 shows. In some ways not very well. I kept a lot of it hidden from the rest of my fellow students, I think. I spoke to Julie a lot of the time. She was like a sounding board, and I think it was she kind of had it that way because she didn't want us looking worried or scared or stressed in front of everybody else. But it's kind of just a thing you have to deal with. It's something that everyone deals with different ways, and it was just about getting through it, really. I never really had the chance to stop and sit down and think about it until after exposure, really. And now I'm a lot more retrospective about it. You just got to keep your head down and think, right. One thing I think is a good piece of advice, which I didn't know how to deal with it. I watched this TV show, and it says one of the characters says, if you're stressed or you're finding life difficult, just think, can I get through the next 10 seconds? Because 10 seconds is easy to get through. You just count to 10 and then you're through it, and then you just start again. And I mean, that's quite a small amount, but if you think of it in the same way and you think, oh, all I need to do is get through the next 10 minutes. And if you can get through the next 10 minutes, then it's only going to be another 10 minutes you need to get through after that. And if you break it down into sizable chunks, it's a lot easier to deal with things. But when you're looking at something from far away as a big picture, it's really difficult to kind of comprehend it. And I think that is not only good ideals to have for exposure, but just for life in general, because it's scary. You can't. It's like something that only people that do exposure can kind of understand, which is really weird to say, and kind of sounds a bit like you're in this inner circle. And I don't mean it to be like that. It's just that it's this weird emotional roller coaster, stressful period of life that kind of everyone goes through, I think, in different like courses through university. We're fortunate enough we don't have to write like a 10,000 word dissertation, but this is something completely different. And it is only, even like, for example, for anyone that's watching this that's doing exposure this year, what your experience can be completely different to mine, and I won't really understand what you guys went through, or you guys go through, or the people that went through it before me or after me. It's only those people that are involved at the time that can really get what was going on and the vibe in the room. And I think that even though my year, we weren't particularly like a tight-knit group of people, even by the end of it we were kind of like a much stronger group than we were before. And we went out a couple of times afterwards, and we all tried to like stay, but like I've got like a bond with a couple of people from the course, just because it was such a like experience. It's such a experience of growth and of change, and you just kind of figure things out as you're doing it, and you realise maybe you're not as great as you thought you were, or you're actually better than you thought you were. It's just kind of, it's this weird mesh of all sorts of different experiences, really, and it's kind of really hard, but something I'd never change for the world.